A new bill just introduced will be coming next week. Also, the number of people living in poverty in the United States is significantly more than what they've been telling us. I have all the details and the reports as well as the solution to lift all these people out of poverty in this video, so let's get into it right away. But if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day during this very busy time as information continues to change very, very rapidly. I'm doing all the research and I'm watching everything closely, which I break down into these short videos so that you can get all the latest details hot off the wire as this information is being released. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I'm here to help you out in any way that I possibly can, so make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any updates going forward, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day. All right, let's jump right into this. So first off, I quickly want to talk about this new report that was just released talking about the millions and millions of people living in poverty that were previously unaccounted for. Yeah, this is actually some pretty big stuff here. So, based on what we're seeing right now, there are millions of people living in poverty in the United States. However, based on some new reporting and some new calculations based on some economists out of Johns Hopkins, they're actually finding that there's an additional 8 million people living in poverty right now that were completely unaccounted for. That is a massive number of people. One quick side note on this, remember, a couple years ago, or maybe it was about a year and a half ago or so, the president was out saying that no older adults or people with disabilities should ever need to live in poverty in America. However, with that being said, let me tell you some of the details on this and how many people are actually living in poverty in America. Side note, a lot of these people are exactly those people I just quoted: seniors, elderly, people with disabilities. Of course, not everyone, but a large percentage of these people are. Why? Because they're living on a fixed income like Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, retirement benefits, things like this. So anyway, let's talk through all the details on this. So according to this report, again, from these economists out of Johns Hopkins, they're saying that 48 million people in the United States are living in poverty, which actually calculates out to 14.5% of our population. So to put that into perspective, out of every 100 people that you see walking around on the street right now, when you go out to a store or wherever you happen to encounter 100 people, 14.5 of them, obviously not a half a person is walking around, but 14.5 of them are living in poverty. That is a huge number of people. Well, based on these calculations and everything going on in 2022, they're actually anticipating that there are 8 million people that were unaccounted for still living in poverty based on the way that these calculations have always been run. At the same time, they're anticipating that millions more people will be falling into poverty in 2022 simply because of wages not really keeping up with inflation. At the same time, inflation getting away from everybody, prices increasing literally on everything, just like we've talked about in so many videos here lately. And with everything going on, they're anticipating a lot more people are going to fall into poverty this year. So again, kind of a sad situation. However, apparently the poverty information as far as how they calculate people living in poverty has been based on quarterly spending habits, which seems really weird to me because what does that have to do with essentially anything? But rather, the people or these economists out of Johns Hopkins are rather looking at annual income, which again, to me, it would be logical to use somebody's annual income to determine if they're living in poverty or not, because that's how we base the federal poverty line, right? So remember, as of 2022, the federal poverty line is $13,590, and in 2021, it was $12,880. So anyway, these economists from Johns Hopkins are looking at the the annual income levels versus quarterly spending habits to determine who is living in poverty and how many people are living in poverty. Once again, with everything going on right now and all this massive inflation that is really digging away at everybody right now, and it's really hurting those people living on a fixed income. But again, this is no surprise. There's a lot of you here in the community living on a fixed income, and we've talked about this many times before. But again, here's what's interesting about it. What are states and locations all around the country doing right now to help out people who are living in poverty? Yeah, you know, guaranteed basic income programs, otherwise known as monthly checks. I guess you could call it monthly stimulus checks, but realistically, that's not really what it is. They are guaranteed basic income programs, and these are the most effective way to lift people out of poverty. Let me give you another quick example. Now, again, I know that a lot of you in this community are not, we're not receiving these payments, but again, this is a perfect example of a guaranteed basic income program. The child tax credit payments from last year. That's essentially exactly what that program was. A guaranteed basic income program that sent out anywhere between $250 and $300 per child per month ongoing. That's exactly the definition of a guaranteed basic income program. So they're basically saying, hey, these are the programs that ultimately lift people out of poverty long term. It gives them the money, the funds that they need to buy the necessities, which is also something that they cited in this report, was that people with a lot of people falling below the poverty line, they essentially do not have the money right now to buy the basic necessities anymore. So anyway, kind of interesting, another report that I came across, but again, it's exactly in line with what we've been talking about right here on the channel for so many months now, right? It's just kind of interesting how we've been talking about it for so long, and then sure enough, we find a report literally backing up exactly what we've been saying for so long now. So anyway, anytime that I come across this kind of stuff, I like to share it with you just to show you, hey, this is what other people are finding out there, and these are, prominent economists and high-profile people out there. So anyway, very interesting. Hopefully we can get some kind of action out of Congress, maybe a nationwide guaranteed basic income program, something like this at some point. But anyway, just want to share that with you. All right, let's quickly talk about this new bill that will be coming next week based on some comments and a letter out of Steny Hoyer, who is one of the leading Democrats in the House of Representatives. So Steny Hoyer sent a letter over to Democratic representatives telling them to be on alert that a new bill will be sent over to the House of Representatives from the Senate as early as this coming week for them to pass in early April. This would be another COVID relief bill. In other words, a stimulus package. That is what all of the other ones have been, a COVID relief bill and a stimulus package, and those are the ones that contained stimulus checks. Now again, I just want to make it very clear, we have no clue if this next one will contain a stimulus check, if it's going to contain any kind of gas vouchers, any kind of payments in there for the American people. I'm not going to sit here and say it will or it will not. We will not know the details yet until we get more information out of the Senate and what they send over to the House of Representatives once that happens here within the next few days. So anyway, Steny Hoyer did send that letter over to Democratic representatives saying, hey, be on alert. We're going to be getting this bill here from the Senate relatively soon, and the objective is to get it passed as quickly as possible. Now, this is from about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago or now, the Congress, right? So they passed through the $1.5 trillion spending bill. It was sent over to the president. He signed it into law, and it was supposed to contain $22.5 billion. It was shaved down to 15.6, and then ultimately it was completely dropped. Well, last week, so just a few days ago, actually, maybe it was earlier this week. Either way, it was in the last week or so. Nancy Pelosi was out and said, let's make it $45 billion, right? So they originally went from $22.5 billion. Now Nancy Pelosi's saying, let's make it 45. So you can see right now already, before they really have anything done on this thing, they're already calling for twice as much money than what they originally called for. This is how these packages typically start, is one time they come out, maybe a small handful of people in Congress come together and say, it's got to be this amount. And then sure enough, you have more people come out right afterward and say, well, no, it needs to be this much more, or we need to add this or that. And before you know it, before we're too far into the bill, we're sitting on $500 billion of spending, things like this. So things can take off and things can balloon very, very quickly when it comes to these bills. That's why you got to watch these things very closely, because we have to watch it and see what they want to add into it or what they may want to remove. Are they going to leave it as is? Are they going to reform it? Like, what are all the details about it? So whatever is sent over from the Senate over to the House of Representatives will likely get some changes made to it. That's typically what we've been seeing happening lately, is any bills that are sent between the chambers, they usually have some amendments, and then they have to go back and be repassed through the other chamber before they can go to the president. So anyway, this next week here, over the coming days, we should be getting more details out of that bill from the Senate, and let's see, what does it contain? Will it contain some type of maybe like a gas relief check? I know, sounds kind of funny, right? Oh man, yeah. Anyway, maybe you'll have some kind of gas voucher or some type of relief check, maybe a stimulus check, a direct payment, something like that. Again, we won't know the details until we get further details on what's going on, but we do know that there are a variety of different members out of Congress right now, as far as senators, as well as members in the House of Representatives, who are coming forward with all of these proposals as of recently calling on gas cards, direct checks, stimulus payments. We've seen all of this. I've talked about it many times in previous videos and that video from just earlier today as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things going on out there. But anyway, it's encouraging. They're working on things. It's slow, but I guess slow and sure is better than just kind of a guess, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, they are working on some things. And as I do get more details, of course, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it all down, helping you out in any way that I can, and ultimately making sure that you're staying updated with the latest details as this information is happening. So again, thanks so much for joining me. These are the updates that I have for you as of right now. As I do get more information on any kind of bills or any additional proposals or packages or checks or direct payments, anything like this, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it down and to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any updates going forward. Also, feel free to share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,300 plus videos right here on the channel. I hope you're having a nice day. Enjoy, stay safe out there, and please remember, I'm here for you, right by your side, as that is my commitment and my dedication to you and this community as a whole. Thanks again. Enjoy your day. I'll catch you again later in the next update, and hopefully we'll get some more good information here relatively soon. All right, thanks again. I'll see you soon. See ya.